So many dates to remember.
Mm-hmm. I know. I get all the anniversaries,
like kids' birth
May
dates.
14th.
So we've been married for.
How did you know it was time to get married?
How did we know?
People would say, if you can't sleep, take something to sleep. The Lord has let me sleep just fine.
And I don't know how the executives over at Turning Point USA sleep at night.
So, while tons of people who never even met Charlie Kirk are staying up late, stressing about what really went down during that whole unexpected situation, his widow Erika is sleeping peacefully. And now it finally makes sense why. Word on the streets is that just days before Charlie moved forward with the divorce, pages from his private diary suddenly popped up online, hinting he uncovered some unclear things about Erika's past that shook him up. By now, everybody's heard all kinds of theories about Charlie and Erika's marriage. From claims that Erika was some kind of bait placed in Charlie's life by a major TPUSA supporter to whispers that she had ties to a mysterious elite crew trying to hide a client list Charlie allegedly wanted exposed.
And I've never felt that. I'm not angry with God. Never have been. Never have I questioned, why, Lord, are you putting me through this? Why are you testing me? Why are you... Because God is so good and He's so sovereign.
I could have never forgiven Tyler Robinson for whatever part he played in this. And obviously I'm saying whatever part he played in this because I don't believe that he was the lone person involved. I don't even think he's the person that killed Charlie Kirk.
And each rumor gets wilder than the last, which is why the internet can't stop talking about them. But these newly leaked receipts flipped everything upside down. And they might even explain how Erika moved on so fast, even forgiving the person who was allegedly connected to the situation that changed Charlie's whole world.
Charlie Kirk and Erika Kirk filed for a disillusionment of marriage 2 days before his assassination. There are actual text messages back and forth between Erika and Charlie discussing a separation of assets and how they are going to come out publicly and when the right time.
Then she dropped one line that made everybody freeze in place because the way she said it felt soft but loaded with meaning. She said, "I don't even think that was the person who directly caused the events that led to Charlie Kirk's departure." And that tiny sentence lit the internet on fire all over again.
Time Erika got involved in a Turning Point event, something felt off. People got pulled from their posts for no clear reason, replaced with names nobody recognized. What most people don't realize is that Erika had already started acting like CEO before Charlie even died. She was giving orders, making executive calls, speaking for the organization in ways that made all of us uncomfortable. Charlie would try to intervene and she'd just talk over him, like he didn't even matter anymore.
Suddenly, every old theory started sounding brand new and people began looking at this whole story from a different angle. Now let's slide into these divorce rumors. A TikTok account went viral, claiming Candace Owens accidentally exposed proof that Erika Kirk tried to get their marriage annulled just days before everything happened. According to this creator, Candace shared text messages and legal papers that suggested Charlie was actually the one who pushed for the separation in the first place.
So many dates to remember.
Mm-hmm. I know. I get all the anniversaries,
like kids' birth
May
dates.
14th.
So we've been married for.
How did you know it was time to get married?
How did we know? You just know.
It's also don't waste your time.
Don't waste your time. And plus, we were ready to start our life together.
That's
But that's not the whole story. Not even close. Charlie and Erika reportedly sold their Arizona home earlier this year, and a lot of people instantly took that as a sign that the two were already living apart, long before the situation that turned Charlie's life in a new direction. Folks online started connecting dots quick, claiming this move showed things were shifting behind closed doors. Insiders close to Charlie are now speaking up too, saying the picture-perfect couple everyone saw in public wasn't the full story.
We pushed back against the media on COVID, on lockdowns, on Ukraine, on the border, so like maybe we should also ask a question. Is the media totally presenting the truth when it comes to Israel? Just a question, that maybe we shouldn't believe everything the media says, because I know I've been conditioned to ask a lot more critical questions over the last couple of years.
According to them, there were plenty of tense arguments happening behind the scenes, the kind no one outside their circle ever heard about. One source even said that in the months before Charlie stepped away, Erika had basically stepped into his spot at TPUSA, moving like she was the new central figure instead. They described moments where she'd talk over him in meetings, almost like she didn't feel his voice carried the same weight anymore. And then came that uncomfortable video clip. Charlie asked Erika a simple question about their wedding day.
Gonna be there in Israel too.
And so I was on a pilgrimage with my mom in Israel, and I turned around and I saw someone who looked super familiar.
And she froze on camera. She couldn't remember how long they'd been married, stumbling over her words before trying to cover it up with the classic line, "It feels like forever," which didn't help the vibes at all. It looked like Charlie was watching her reaction closely, almost like he already sensed something was off and wanted to see what she'd do.
How did your mom choose Phoenix?
So she chose to move to Phoenix from Ohio because there was more of an opportunity for a female business owner out here, especially from the standpoint of she was getting involved with the government, so Homeland Security and Department of Defense. And so she had other business partners that were out here that were already in that industry.
People now think he had been putting pieces together for a while, especially since he'd been shifting his views on so many topics. COVID rules, restrictions, Ukraine, the border, everything. This moment felt like a reminder that not everything online is as perfect as it appears, and a lot of us have learned to question the polished stories we're shown. But the real question now is about Charlie himself. Was he starting to look deeper than policy? Was he beginning to doubt his marriage and quietly wonder if everything Erika told him about her past was actually the full picture?
The snake of the ticket line was a guy who looked very familiar. I had no idea who he was. And I told my mom, this guy looks so familiar. And as a typical mother, she said, go and say hi. No. We were late for our flight, and I'm not going to come off like a crazy person that's just weird. That ended up being Charlie.
With all this new info surfacing about Erika's life before she ever crossed paths with Charlie, people can't help wondering what she kept quiet and how much she really shared with him. When Charlie first met Erika, he didn't have much experience with love. While she was 5 years older and had a way more colorful past that sounded like a whole movie. Miss America contestant, Trump pageant winner, casting director, Romanian orphanage founder, reality TV personality, music video model. Erika moved through life like someone who lived 10 different chapters before even meeting Charlie. And on top of that, she came from a family with serious financial connections tied to government contracting, which made her story even more mysterious. Her family even received a plaque in Jerusalem for their work helping restore the Zion Gate, a detail that made a lot of people look twice because it added another layer to everything. All these pieces made folks question whether Charlie ever had the full picture or if he was only seeing the version of Erika she chose to show. And when people bring up the honeymoon theory, there's a detail most viewers completely missed. Charlie just happened to meet Erika right before Tpuza arranged their first official date. And that timing had a lot of people raising eyebrows. Was that destiny, or was someone quietly coordinating things behind the scenes?
I will make sure that I don't stay silent. I'll keep speaking the truth.
Was this just a random moment or part of a bigger puzzle where nothing happens by accident? As rumors around the honeymoon theory, the chosen one theory, and the idea of Erika being intentionally placed in Charlie's life started spreading, people noticed something even more interesting. Erika almost never spoke about the issues Charlie cared about most, including the sensitive lists and records he publicly said needed transparency. Some folks even asked if Charlie spent so much time talking about those lists that needed to be cleared. Why did Erika act like none of it mattered?
Lies that Epstein, with his little friend Ghislaine and Ghislaine's father, Robert Maxwell, who was obviously a spy of the Israeli intelligence agencies, that there was something else going on here. Epstein was not some sort of whiz-kid hedge fund manager. Epstein was playing a part. Epstein was a LARPer. Epstein was cast for a specific role.
Why did that whole issue quietly fade from Erika's messages after Charlie stepped away from the spotlight? Ever since Charlie's passing, Erika has repeated that she wants to continue the mission he started. That she wants to speak truth the way he did, but longtime followers immediately felt something wasn't matching up. Charlie's message then and Erika's message now just didn't hit the same way. Some people say it's simply a difference in personality. Others think it's a difference in goals. And then there are plenty who feel Erika is telling a brand new version of events, one she fully controls, where no one can check her or challenge her.
So Charlie Kirk's wife, who the day Charlie Kirk was murdered, I said I felt for, I still do, for her and her kids. She's grifting now. Charlie Kirk is worth tens of millions of dollars. That's a fact. That's not an opinion. And his wife is going on social media and asking people for donations and money. What is she doing? Other than grifting, what else would you call that? If you're going to get donations, why wouldn't you use it for something like, I don't know, helping the homeless, doing something about those that are mentally ill, for example? There's so much you could do with these donations and money that can help society. Instead, she's going to be using it for herself. And I say to myself, your husband was worth tens of millions of dollars. Why are you grifting and asking for money before your husband is even 6 feet underneath the ground? I find this distasteful and I find it disgusting.
Meanwhile, the internet keeps digging and pulling up every tiny detail. The sudden meeting, the arranged dates, the topics Charlie cared about but Erika never touched. The promise to keep telling the truth while the biggest questions remain unanswered. So what is the truth here? Was everything natural or pre-planned? Was the promise sincere? Or is a new storyline being written in real time? That question still has no real ending, and everyone watching feels that tension growing. Charlie reportedly left behind a message saying he'd never turn away from the big questions he was chasing. And that only made the public look even closer at what Erika was saying after he left. The next question hit immediately. Was Erika really continuing his mission? Was she being straight up about the list Charlie pushed to get clarified? Charlie didn't just mention those lists casually. He spoke about them boldly, clearly, and with real determination. He said that behind everything, behind the rumors, behind the controversial figures, behind the half-told stories, there was a deeper structure that most people were too afraid to even touch. To Charlie, this wasn't just a media headline anymore. It was a whole network of influence and decisions that he believed needed to be brought into the light. And that's why so many people are now asking if that was the exact topic he was most passionate about before he stepped away, and whether Erika ever planned to follow that same path. Why did Erika and the people running TPUSA suddenly avoid that whole subject altogether? If they truly wanted to honor Charlie's legacy, you'd think they would continue the questions he started. But what we're seeing looks completely different. Ever since Charlie stepped away, TPUSA has been unusually quiet about the issues he pushed so hard to expose.
Attempting to crack down on illegal immigration on a list of American priorities by the polls, the Epstein-Maxwell case comes in pretty close to zero, just on a list of priorities.
Instead, they shifted direction, switched up priorities, and focused on content that keeps certain donors happy rather than digging into the truth Charlie was chasing. A lot of people feel like his legacy is being reshaped, not to respect him, but to fit the goals of a few powerful figures inside the organization who prefer a smoother, safer narrative. Some are even saying the group is fully rebuilding its public image, while Charlie's warnings are quietly pushed to the side. One of the newest examples came from the Florida branch of TPUSA, which suddenly removed a bunch of members from their internal chat group with almost no explanation. The official reason was inappropriate language, but members who got removed claimed they were simply asking the same questions Charlie used to ask. They were asking, why isn't the list public? And who's actually controlling the message? The exact questions Charlie raised when he was alive, and now these discussions are being shut down like they never mattered. If Charlie cared so deeply about this topic, why are the people who came after him banning any conversation about it?
And I don't know how the executives over at Turning Point USA sleep at night. Okay. I don't know how you can present yourselves as a Christian organization and not be dedicating yourself to the truth. No matter what the cost is, you tell the truth. That's it. Okay. You don't hide it. You don't try to obfuscate it. You don't try to say, well, wait until the memorial event before we start looking into who murdered. You tell the truth and you tell it immediately. And I don't think they're capable of doing that. And I have an idea as to why that is. I think the same people that were pressuring Charlie are pressuring them. In fact, I know that for a fact.
Longtime watchers say there are two possible explanations. Possibility 1, Erika honestly believes she's protecting Charlie's legacy in her own way by staying calm, avoiding drama, and steering clear of anything she sees as too risky or too sensitive for the public. Possibility 2, there are behind-the-scenes interests involved. Interests that Charlie may have gotten too close to, and staying quiet is simply the safest option for the people still running the show. And it's hard to ignore something else. Erika has been appearing more and more in the public eye as a leader, a spokesperson, and a coordinator. Almost like she's being prepared or positioned to slide into Charlie's role. That big gap between what Charlie used to say and what Erika says now is way too noticeable to ignore. One side asks questions, one side avoids questions. One side tried to shine a light on the network while the other side seems to shut the whole conversation down. So what's the real truth here? Who's actually protecting Charlie's legacy? And who's bending it to fit their own interests? That question is still hanging in the air with no clear answer. And every time someone brings it up, the conversation gets even more confusing. When the organization labels something as hate speech, Many students believe it's just a way to shut down people who dare to ask questions. Students who support Tucker Carlson, students who simply want clarity about the client list and the huge amounts of tax money being shifted around with barely any public explanation. From that point on, the whole situation becomes even more unclear. Ben Shapiro, who used to stand shoulder to shoulder with Charlie in the media world, is now pushing back against Charlie's followers for asking those same questions Charlie was known for. He claims the topic is overblown and that the country has more urgent issues like immigration, the economy, and national safety, making the Epstein and Maxwell story almost unimportant according to him. But that view clashes completely with what Charlie said during his final years. To Charlie, this wasn't just some trending story. It was about power, hidden networks, and real accountability. And now that Erika is acting as CEO of TPUSA, she hasn't mentioned the topic even once. Not a single word about something her husband fought for so boldly before he stepped away. Candace Owens pointed out something even stranger. People who were supposedly close friends of Charlie and Erika inside TPUSA seemed totally uninterested in clarifying the details of the October 10th situation. Instead, they stay vague, quiet, or talk in broad statements like the whole thing is already settled, even though many feel the story is just getting started. That leads to the biggest question. If they're truly innocent and want to honor Charlie, why wouldn't they want everything cleared up in the open? Supporters of Tucker Carlson and students online keep asking the same questions over and over. Who was really behind the list? Why wasn't it ever released? And why was Charlie the only person in his entire circle willing to speak on it publicly? People can't understand how TPUSA, the organization Charlie built with his own vision, could avoid a topic he believed was at the heart of fighting for transparency. This contradiction has caused more and more suspicion in the community, with many believing there are powerful forces behind the scenes shifting the group's message, priorities, and even direction after Charlie was gone. On top of that, inside sources claim that some directors at TPUSA were uncomfortable with Charlie constantly bringing up the subject, calling it too sensitive, off-limits, or bad for donor relations. And that only makes the public start asking even louder.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Erika Kirk.
What exactly were they trying to protect? And who didn't want this conversation happening anymore? If that's true, then the next question hits even harder. Who did Charlie upset before everything went down? And more importantly, who benefits the most from keeping things quiet? Every time TPUSA deletes a post, blocks a member, or labels perfectly normal questions as hateful, even when those are the same questions Charlie used to encourage, it becomes clear something major is shifting behind the scenes. And this shift doesn't look like it's happening for the sake of transparency. It looks like a whole new strategy that has nothing to do with the way Charlie moved. When you pull back and look at the entire picture, Erika staying silent, TPUSA acting defensive, Ben Shapiro walking back his old stance, and conversations about the client list getting shut down, you realize this isn't just a personal situation anymore. This is a story about power, about who gets protected, who gets silenced, and who gets pushed out of the way so the narrative stays controlled. And the biggest question that still sits out there is simple. If Charlie isn't here to speak, who has the courage to step up and keep asking the questions he started? I honestly don't understand how an organization can call itself faith-based, talk about truth, transparency, and ethics, but then avoid the very truth they claim to defend. If you say you stand for honesty, there's only one real way to prove it. You have to be straight with people, no matter how uncomfortable it is. That's the whole point. You don't hide the truth. You don't blur it. You don't push everything off by saying, let's wait until after the memorial service, after things calm down, after the moment passes, and then maybe come back to it. No. If you truly believe in truth, you share it right away even when it's heavy to hear. And to be real, I don't think they have the capacity or the willingness to do that. That might sound harsh, but I've been watching this situation for a long time, and the pattern is hard to ignore. I think the same pressure that landed on Charlie is the same pressure sitting on them now. The reality is this, and I say it with confidence, there are forces behind the scenes that most people never see. And those forces are powerful enough to shape the whole narrative from the shadows. Shape the message, shape the narrative, and even shape how they respond to the founders' own grief. That's what people are noticing now. So whether those divorce rumors are fully accurate or not, there are way too many strange details surrounding Erika and TPUSA to brush off as everyone grieves differently. The vibe feels much deeper than that, and the public can feel it in every moment. In case you missed it, Erika recently accepted the Charlie Kirk Legacy Award, a prize meant to honor her husband's entire life's work. The moment she stepped on stage, the room exploded with applause. The lighting was soft and dramatic, and every camera caught her face from every angle. But then the most controversial moment unfolded. She tried to cry, but no actual tear fell. Not one. No trembling voice. No moment where she seemed overwhelmed, just expressions that looked practiced. And that single moment sent the internet into overdrive because a lot of people felt it didn't look like someone carrying real heartbreak. It looked like a performance crafted to inspire sympathy instead of showing genuine emotion. It came across confusing, polished, and almost rehearsed instead of raw or sincere. But here's the part that chilled a lot of people. Those who knew Charlie personally, who worked next to him for years, swore that this wasn't the same Erika he loved. They said this didn't match the woman Charlie described on his podcast, the partner he protected, the person he believed in. Multiple people even claimed that months before the situation unfolded, Erika started acting different. She began giving orders, stepping into leadership roles, speaking on Charlie's behalf, and moving like she was already the head of the organization, even while Charlie was still fully present. And whenever he tried to step in, some say she'd talk right over him like his voice didn't matter the same way anymore. That shocked people who witnessed it because it hinted that Charlie wasn't just questioning politics, media narratives, or world events. He was quietly questioning his own marriage too. He felt something was off. You can even hear that shift in his final podcast episodes where he talked more about questioning certainties and trusting his instincts. So here's the real question now. Does TPUSA's silence paired with Erika's dramatic award show moment look like the actions of people defending the truth? Or does it look like something entirely different happening behind the scenes? And if the same people who once pressured Charlie are now pressuring everyone around him too, like many believe, then this whole situation goes far beyond a marriage or an internal organization. It turns into a story about influence, control, and a truth that too many seem scared to speak out loud. Every move TPUSA makes, deleted posts, blocked members, conversations shut down, and questions labeled as hateful, even when Charlie encouraged them before, shows a shift happening behind the curtain. And it isn't a shift toward transparency. This looks like a new strategy being rolled out, one that doesn't line up with Charlie's name or his mission anymore. And when you zoom out and look at everything together, Erika's silence, TPUSA getting defensive, Ben Shapiro backpedaling, and the clientless conversation disappearing, you realize this isn't a personal issue at all anymore. This is a story about who gets protected, who gets muted, and who gets moved aside so the narrative stays polished. And the biggest question that still hangs in the air, if Charlie isn't here to speak, who has the courage to come forward now? That's the part no one can answer yet. So, what does all of this really say about Charlie and Erika's marriage? From the outside, Charlie likely believed he was marrying for love, something genuine, something built on faith and shared values. But when you step back and look at the relationships, the circles, and the high-powered figures around Erika's family, you realize they weren't playing the same game Charlie thought they were. In those circles, people don't marry for emotion. They marry for political positioning, influence, and image. These are partnerships built like strategies, not celebrations. And now that each layer is being peeled back, more people are starting to believe Erika may not have been a random partner in Charlie's life at all, but rather someone placed at the right time in the right environment for the right purpose. A carefully selected figure, an image keeper prepared to fit into a higher-level political lane. And yeah, that sounds intense, but when you look at the pattern, it lines up. Erika comes from a family tied to government contracting and high-level programs. She worked in media, beauty, and reality TV. She knew how to perform flawlessly on camera. She had deep networks in faith communities, media circles, and international projects. These are not traits of a casual relationship. They look like the profile of someone strategically positioned. And when Charlie was in the frame, when he fit the image they wanted, everything went smooth. Charlie was strong, passionate, well-liked, and influential. A powerful voice that fit well into their long-term vision as long as he stayed aligned with the direction they preferred. But then, according to sources in those leaked notes, Charlie began to shift. He began to ask deeper questions, search for truths on his own, and notice details he once overlooked. He began to sense things around him changing. And for people who prioritize influence above everything, someone stepping off script is a serious concern. So here's the biggest question. Was Charlie always part of someone's larger plan, a piece placed exactly where they wanted him? Or did he discover something they never expected him to notice? Because once someone starts seeing the world differently, they start seeing everyone around them differently too. Every conversation looks different. Every meeting feels different. Every unexplained action hits different. It's possible Charlie began realizing that some parts of his marriage weren't what he thought they were. Stories didn't line up. Background details didn't match. Erika's behavior in meetings and events raised new questions. And when those personal notes leaked, notes showing Charlie had doubts, felt distance, and questioned things, the entire community started seeing the story in a new light. This wasn't looking like a fairy tale anymore. It looked like a structure, something built, arranged, and maybe even orchestrated over time. So, the next question became obvious. What else was being hidden? Because with every passing day, a new detail surfaces. A message, a recording, an email, an old moment being re-examined. And instead of clearing things up, everything becomes darker, more tangled, and way more unpredictable. People who once believed this was a simple personal tragedy now think it has multiple layers tied to influence and direction. Those who believed Erika only wanted to continue Charlie's legacy are now questioning her motives. And people who trusted Tpuza to protect the truth now see an organization avoiding questions and moving quietly instead of being transparent. Maybe Charlie saw too much. Maybe he noticed something behind the scenes. Or maybe he simply no longer fit the role they planned for him. And just to be clear, according to public sources, this story only reflects online discussions and community interest. We report what the public is talking about with no intention to confirm or dig into anyone's private life. Everything here is for commentary and entertainment only. But whatever the truth is, this story has pushed far beyond anything anyone expected. And like every story with a moment of silence, there's usually something bigger happening underneath. If this breakdown opened your eyes, make sure you hit that like button, drop a comment, share this video, and subscribe to Flow Fame for more deep dives.